Monomyth, the heart of the world. The monomyth, the 𝕱𝖈, the heart of the world. Anu encompassed and encompasses all things, so that he might know himself. He created Anuiel, his soul and the soul of all things. Anuiel, as all souls, was given to self-reflection, and for this, he needed to differentiate between his forms, attributes, and intellects. Thus was born 𝕱𝖈, who was the sum of all the limitations Anuiel would use to ponder himself. Anuiel, who was the soul of all things, therefore became many things, and this interplay was and is the 𝕱𝖈. At first, the 𝕱𝖈 was turbulent and confusing, as Anuiel's ruminations went on without a sign. Aspects of the 𝕱𝖈 then asked for a schedule to follow or procedures whereby they might enjoy themselves a little longer outside of perfect knowledge, so that he might know himself this way. Anu created Auriel, the soul of his soul. Auriel bled through the 𝕱𝖈 as a new force called time. With time, various aspects of 𝕱𝖈 began to understand their natures and limitations. They took names like Magnus or Mara or Shen. One of these, 𝕱𝖑, was more of a limit than a nature, so he could never last long anywhere. As he entered every aspect of Anuiel, 𝕱𝖑 would plant an idea that was almost wholly based on limitations. He outlined a plan to create a soul for the 𝕱𝖈, a place where the aspects of aspects might even be allowed to self-reflect. He gained many followers, even Auriel. When told he would become the king of the new world, agreed to help 𝕱𝖑, so they created the Mundus, where their own aspects might live and become the 𝕱𝖈ada. This was a trick, as 𝕱𝖑 knew this world contained more limitations than not, and was therefore hardly a thing of Anu at all. Mundus was the house of 𝕱𝖈. Mundus was the house of 𝕱𝖈s. As their aspects began to die off, many of the 𝕱𝖈ada vanished completely. Some escaped like Magnus, and that is why there are no limitations to magic. Others like 𝕱𝖈 transformed themselves into the 𝕱𝖈, the earth bones, so that the whole world might not die. Some had to marry and make children just to last. Each generation was weaker than the last, and soon there were 𝕱𝖈. Darkness caved in. 𝕱𝖑 made armies out of the weakest souls and named them men, and they brought 𝕱𝖈s into every quarter. Auriel pleaded with Anu to take them back, but he had already filled their places with something else. His soul was gentler, granting Auriel his bow and shield, so that he might save the 𝕱𝖈 from the hordes of men. Some had already fallen, like the chimer, who listened to the tainted 𝕱𝖈ada, and others, like the bosmer, had soiled time's line by taking mannish wives. Auriel could not save Atmora, the Elderwood, and it was lost to men. They were chased south and east to old 𝕱𝖈, and 𝕱𝖑 was close behind. He shattered that land into many. Finally, Trinimac, Auriel's greatest knight, knocked 𝕱𝖑 down in front of his army and reached in with more than hands to take his heart. He was undone. The men dragged 𝕱𝖑's body away, and swore blood vengeance on the heirs of Ariel for all time. But when Trinimac and Ariel tried to destroy the heart of Lorkhan, it laughed at them. It said, "This heart is the heart of the world, for one was made to satisfy the other." So Ariel fastened the thing to an arrow and let it fly long into the sea, where no aspect of the new world may ever find it.